Hello and welcome to Sensational South. I'm Harish Upadhyay. We are coming to you today from the beautiful Vidhan Sauda here in Bengaluru. And this is where a lot of politics is playing out. This is over the power tariff hike. Remember, the power tariff has been revised in Karnataka and this has triggered a huge outrage, not just among households, but also industries who are saying that their profit is taking a hit. The new Congress government is saying that we are helpless and this decision didn't happen when we were in power. So who's responsible? What's the way out? We'll debate it, but first the story.
Most power consumers in Karnataka have received a rude shock this month after seeing their electricity bills. Domestic consumers are looking forward to some relief if the government successfully implements the Gruha Jyothi scheme of free power to households using less than 200 units every month. But it's the medium and small-scale industries that are worried. The Karnataka Electricity Regulatory Commission or KERC hiked power tariff by 70 paise per unit on 12th of May. The change reflected in the bills generated in June and was calculated retrospectively from April. Commission also added another hike of 51 paise per unit under the pretext of fuel and power purchase cost adjustment charge. With arrears being added, power bills have gone up by 60 to 80% for several consumers, leading to heated arguments between citizens and staff of electricity supply companies. Industries have been badly affected with such a steep hike in power prices, forcing them to hit the streets in protest.
Many industrial associations have called for a ban on June 22nd to ensure that they draw the attention of the government so as to make sure that they bring back the electricity tariff price to normal here in the state of Karnataka.
स्मॉल स्केल कंपनी है हम, अभी जो पहले आता था उससे भी डबल बिल आ रहा है अभी, तो हमने कभी भी पूछा नहीं था कि फ्री करंट दे दो, फिर भी फ्री करंट दे के अभी डबल पैसा मांग रहे हैं, तो ये हमारा स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री के लिए बहुत अच्छा नहीं है.
Industry groups met Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who expressed helplessness as the decision was taken by the Commission, not governed by the state. Sources say the government has advised the industry's body to now approach the Karnataka High Court.
ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಮನವರಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬೇಡಿಕೆಯಾಗಿ ಇವಾಗ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ನ 9% ಇರೋದನ್ನ 3% ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಏನು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಹೊರೆ ಬೀಳಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅದನ್ನು ಮನವರಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಡಿಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸು ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾರಾಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನಿತ್ತು ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮನವರಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
Neighbouring states like Maharashtra and Goa have started wooing industries in the North Karnataka region. The state says it's wrong to blame the Congress government for the hike as the decision happened before they came to power. Even as they remind the industry that power tariff is much higher in the neighbouring states.
It is not done by the Congress government. When BJP was in power, from last November 22, this process was going on. Every ESCOMs has to go and give their expense and the income and all to the KERC.
Amid this, the state government also has the task of allaying fears of the common man. As outrage grows, the Congress seems to be fumbling in the dark to assure voters that this power tariff hike is not linked to funding their pre-poll guarantees. With Akshara and Harish Upadhyay, Bureau Report, CNN News 18.
So what triggered this hike? Why such a steep hike? We'll debate this. We have an eminent panel joining us today. We have Mr. Ashok Gowda of the BJP. We have Mr. Sanket Inagi, the spokesperson from the Congress party. We have Mr. M.G. Prabhakar. He's the former advisory council member of the KERC. I'll come to you, Mr. Prabhakar, first. We've had tariff hike earlier as well. We've had one in 2022 as well. But those were around the range of 35 paise. Why such a steep hike now, sir? What changed really?
The first and the foremost thing for tariff hike is increase in fixed charges or demand charges. Because enormous increase in fixed charges, demand charges have been approved by the Commission, every consumer including the domestic consumer, is feeling the heat. Particularly, industry, trade and commerce, they are the ones who are very badly hit.
Absolutely, they've been hit badly, and that's why they've hit the streets. In fact, coming to you, Mr. Sanket Yanagi, there is a fear that perhaps this will be seen as the way the Congress party is funding its pre-poll promise. Well, that's the word out there. It might not be true, but how does the Congress party tackle this perception?
Firstly, let us understand few facts which are necessary for our viewers. That the previous government or the previous administration owed 11,000 crores to the electricity supply companies, that is ESCOMs. That is already on record, which Mr. Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister, has also said that they owe them the money, and that is still not been cleared. And now the financial burden or the financial indiscipline of the previous government is now on the shoulder of this present government, which we may have to resolve it. We are working on it now. Secondly, the tariff hike which has been approved by the KERC is on 12th of May 2023, which is prior to the declaration of our result, and it has been in the process even before the previous government's tenure come to an end. And it is during the tenure of the previous government. It has no relevance to us and no way connected to the present government's decision in any way. And third point is that about this 5 guarantees, and one of them is about the free units, 200 units to each domestic consumer. That has nothing to do with this. They are two separate issues. They are two separate methodologies to be dealt with. And
But do you think the Congress party can manage to convey this message to the people on the ground, sir?
So we have been trying to communicate to the people, but there's still BJP in one or the other way trying to mislead the people as if it has been done during the Congress because of the 5 guarantees. It has no relevance at all. And we have convinced, and the people are now convinced that it is not because of Congress governments or the Congress proposal. It's ultimately the KERC. And KERC decision now, which is because it's a quasi-judicial authority, let us understand that. Since the decision of the KERC is binding
I'll
on
take that
both
to Ashok Gowda. Mr. Ashok Gowda, the Congress today blaming the BJP of a misinformation campaign, saying it's the BJP which is sending a message saying the Congress is responsible for this power hike, or it's being hiked to fund the 5 promises of the Congress party.
See, let's understand what happened. Usually every year, KERC puts up a proposal saying that there are 2 components to it. One is an operational component and one is a debt component for their capital investment, whatever has happened. And in the capital investment, yes, they do have a debt, and it had to be recovered through the process of hiking the thing. Otherwise, operational cost, they were already in a profit. And once they put up the proposal in front of the BJP government, then we had very clearly said we cannot allow the price hike to this extent. We will allow to a nominal extent, and the decision will be taken by once the election process is complete. And the KERC had put up saying that there are 2 proposals. One is the proposal for hiking 40 paisa, another is a proposal mixing the fees, saying that there were the 3 slabs and bringing down to the 2 slabs. And the BJP government had not agreed to the 2 slabs proposal at all. And 40 paisa was, of course, like as a Chief Minister, Bommai had nominally said that it will be hiked. Okay, fine. 40 paisa was hiked. What Congress government today is reversing all the policies and the matters which were discussed. Why is Congress adamant saying that we will go with the BJP proposal when they are saying textbooks will be changed and the anti-conversion bill will be brought down and the cow slaughter will be brought down, and such matters are bringing it down. And the electricity bill, you allow BJP government whatever the price to continue. That is point number 1. Point number 2 is, now let us understand, 22% is used by the residential consumers, whereas 34% is used by the industrial and 14% is used by the commercial. What is going to happen with the 50% usage? You have already doubled the prices from average 7 rupees to 14 rupees. Now will the prices of products will not increase? And will they stay in Karnataka and give the employment to Kannadigas? They will not. They will go to Tamil Nadu, they will go to Goa, they will go to Maharashtra.
That's a question I'll take to Sanket Yanagi in a bit, but I'll have to bring in Mr. Prabhakar here. Mr. Prabhakar, there's a lot of talk about who's responsible for this hike. what's the role of the government. But the larger question here is, how do we go forward from here? Is there any way that this price can be reconsidered or revised?
Number one, no government, whether it is BJP or Congress, they are not responsible. It's a judicial process under Section 62 of the Electricity Act 2003. In the month of November, all the five supply companies, they have filed their petition. And the matter was heard in the month of February, and actually the new tariffs have to come into force from the first of every financial year. For the reasons of election, that was put on hold for some time. Therefore, we cannot point out, point our fingers either at BJP or the Congress government. And at this point of the time, government has no way of reducing, increasing it or modifying it. If anyone is aggrieved by the order under Section 62, they have an option to go before appellate tribunal under Section 111. And if at all any state government wants to give subsidy under Section 65, they can give subsidy to compensate any loss or the financial inconvenience that is accruing to the supply company.
So let me quickly bring in one more question. If the industries now approach the appellate tribunal, what are the chances of the tribunal asking the KERC to reconsider this decision? What's the precedent like? Has there been instances or examples earlier where it has happened?
So far, no tariff order has been reversed except two under extraordinary circumstances. It is more like an exception. We can go before appellate tribunal both on the question of law and the merits of the case. Generally, if the APTEL finds that there has been the areas where it needs to be reconsidered by the Commission, it will remand back the matter to the Commission for reconsideration. In any case, it's a time-consuming process, and it may be not less than 1 year before we can get an answer.
Okay, it's a time-consuming process and not too many examples of tribunal doing that. Mr. Yanagi, now industry bodies have met the Chief Minister. They are saying that we are getting offers from Goa and Maharashtra to relocate, especially industries in Belagavi and the Mumbai-Karnataka region. How does the government address this now, sir? One of their main demand is that you reduce the taxes on power bill. Will the government also look at subsidizing these ESCOMs so that the power bills come down?
So government is more dependent on the industries and is also looking for the industrial growth in the state of Karnataka. Parallelly, we may have to balance this electricity hike as well. So government is in a situation where it has to balance both the need of the in as much as the hike, which is also the requirement of the electricity supplying companies. So that being the case, government is also considering the other aspect of it till the consideration of the matter before the appellate tribunal. Government is also considering the other aspect as to whether it can think of subsidizing or increasing the subsidy, or it can increase some other financial benefit to them, or it can think about other benefits to be passed on to the industrial sector so that they can compensate in the other components of it. So many aspects the government is thinking about, because if not possible in one way, we may have to compensate them and we may have to encourage them in other way. That's how multiple angles the government is thinking now, and we may come up with some solution so that the industrialization should continue and the development should not be affected in any way by the hike. Yes, please.
Yeah, it's time to bring in a different angle to this debate. Let's look at the power purchase agreements, because many are saying that's perhaps the base from where all these problems stems from, because we've signed power purchase agreements that have irrational costs. For example, Karnataka consumes, this is for the year 2022-23, it consumes around 71,646 million units, and this is for a cost of around 39,223 crore rupees. And you look at the pricing there, out of this around 18,073 million units from 12 sources, it's coming at an average cost of 7 rupees 37 paise, while the overall average is 5 rupees 48 paise. perhaps it's time to look at some of these power purchase agreements. Although it's a sovereign guarantee that the state would have given to these power producers, there was a committee under IAS officer Mr. Gurcharan which has given a report. Will the state government act on it? I will take that question to Mr. Prabhakar. Mr. Prabhakar, is it not important that the state also looks at this power purchase agreements, because some of these costs per unit cost is irrational?
The power purchase agreements were made at a time power had to be procured by the state government. They have entered into long-term purchase agreements, and it cannot be reversed now. It has the sanctity of that being a contract. No one can go back on contract.
Yes.
However, now the government has to say ways and means of retaining the industry, because they are the paying class of consumers. Now this paying class of consumers are moving out of the grid depending upon open access and captive generation. That is the where it is worrisome to the entire Karnataka, because unless we manage energy and our resources and investment, economic growth is not possible in the state of Karnataka.
Thank you, Mr. Ashok Gowda, Mr. Sanket Yanagi and Mr. Prabhakar for joining in on this debate. Remember, at a time when the state is inviting Tesla to have its facility in Karnataka, it will also have to think about what is the kind of power tariff it's offering to industries, and can they give subsidies? Well, not much of fiscal space left, especially with a huge sum going to all these 5 guarantees. Well, that's it on this power debate. Time for a short break now. On the other side, we'll get you more news from across South India.